Welcome to our studios here at the SSL factory in Oxford, England. We use this facility to demonstrate our products and host training sessions, but this is also the playground where we develop and test our new products. We see this as our Lego studio, a traditional big room built up using SSL modular products from the X-Logic series of analog processors. For these products, we took a cut-and-paste approach to the classic circuits from our large format consoles and reformatted them into building blocks of analog goodness suitable for the modern project studio. We didn't change the designs, the components, or even the factory we made them in. We simply took the consoles that engineers and producers have made part of their signature sound for the last 3 decades and resized them into Lego blocks of precision audio processing for the modern producer to use in their own rooms. In the X-Rack, there are 2 flavours of processing module available, black and silver. In this video, we'll try to give you a taste of the difference between the 2 flavours and offer some suggestions as to what each type might be best suited to. And we'll do this using our matrix setup to route them onto audio channels. In the black modules, the crunchy, aggressive sound of the classic E-series console produced from 1981 to 1989. And in the silver modules, we have the fast, powerful sound from the J, K and Duality series consoles. Let's start off by looking at the compressors. The black dynamics modules are the circuit from the 1983 E-series console, and they have a distinctive sound, especially when applied to every channel of a mix. While they're not what you might call high fidelity, they have a mojo of their own and excel on sources such as electric guitars, drums, and a whole bunch of other things. The silver dynamics modules are the circuit from the XL9000K and Duality consoles. They're super fast, apply no tonal colouring of their own to the source, and can take large amounts of gain out of a signal without adversely affecting frequency response. They're great to use on clean sources like acoustic instruments, and also particularly handy on bass lines. I'm going to bring a stereo pair of drum room mics out of my DAW session and bring it up onto 2 channels of the matrix. I'm going to insert 2 of the black dynamics modules from my X-Rack onto the channels of the matrix using the matrix built-in software controlled patch system. I've duplicated the audio tracks in my DAW and brought them up on another 2 channels of the matrix. And on these, I'm going to insert 2 of the silver dynamics modules from my X-Rack. Using the cut switches on the matrix channels, I can A/B the same audio being processed by the 2 different flavours of processing. I'm applying a reasonable amount of compression and have matched the settings on the 2 styles as closely as possible. Let's have a listen, and first we'll listen to the uncompressed signal, then the black compressor, and finally the silver one. Notice how the black modules add their own mojo to the sound, whereas the silver modules keeps the tone of the room sound constant. If you want to compare these audio files with a good level of fidelity, you can download a pack of .wav files from the SSL website. In our next example, I'm going to use the same setup to run a bass through both types of dynamics. I've gone for an aggressive compression with 6 dB of gain reduction, peak detection and the fast attack engaged. It really locks down the dynamic bass and brings out the harmonics. First we'll hear the uncompressed signal, then the silver compressor, and finally the black compressor. Notice how, with similar settings, the black dynamics feels more rounded and slightly warmer almost in the lower mids. Now let's look at the two EQ modules. The black EQ module has two EQ circuits in it. The circuits are based upon those found in two different generations of early SSL E-Series console, the 1981 brown knob EQ and the 1983 black knob EQ. The names refer to the colour of the cap on the low-frequency EQ band. You can't actually see any black knobs on the X-Rack. If I want to switch from brown knob to black knob circuitry, I simply press the black switch. Both EQ designs are from different revisions of the E-Series console, and they share a constant Q design, which means that the EQ curve remains the same at all gain settings, and you can get narrow frequency ranges on small boosts or cuts. They're best described as aggressive, and they work really well on rock music, as well as the occasional venture into lo-fi electronica. The Silver EQ module is from the XL9000K and Duality consoles. It has modern versions of the classic Black Knob E-Series circuit and also the G-Series EQ circuit from 1989. As with the X-Rack Black EQ module, I can switch circuits, in this case from Black Knob E-Series to G-Series by pressing the G EQ switch here. The two circuits have very different approaches. The silver modules are more flexible than the black ones, and I'd sonically describe them as clean yet powerful sound shaping tools. We're going to use our matrix setup to compare the sound of the two different EQs. Here we have a stereo acoustic guitar recording, which we've duplicated and brought up on two parallel sets of channels on the matrix. We've patched in the silver EQ to one stereo pair, and the black EQ to the other. I've EQ'd this guitar to tame some of the resonant mid-frequencies and add some sparkle to the top end using the E-curve on the silver EQ. And I've matched the settings on the black EQ. Again, first we'll hear the unprocessed audio, then the black EQ, and then the silver EQ. Notice how with the black modules, the same settings provide a warmer sound in comparison to the silver EQ. Here's another example that runs a vocal through both types of EQ, and I've set this to bring out some brightness in the vocal. Again, first we'll hear the unprocessed audio, then the black EQ, and then the silver EQ.
My blood's all over the floor. And honest to God, can I not tempt you anymore? If you find the rail track, follow it back to me. If you find the outhouse beneath a shady tree, that's where I'll be. And honest to God, you've stolen my heart. Honest to God.
Notice how the silver EQ sounds a bit smoother and more clinical in comparison to the black EQ. The black EQ adds more fizzy harmonics to the sound. You can hear from these examples that the two module types have different sounds, and each colour can be suited to particular tasks. As a general rule, black is great for rock and silver is great for pop or hip-hop, but the source material and the intended result will be the decider for this. We know a lot of people mixing rock with the silver modules, and there have been many great pop records made with the black ones. The sound you're looking for will define which modules are right for you. If you want to compare the audio files from all our examples with a good level of fidelity, you can download a pack of .wavs from the SSL website. Thanks for watching. You might want to check out the rest of the LEGO Studio video series.